Good afternoon. Fade to black breaking news for this Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Let's get straight to it, everybody. On this day in history, 1999. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, man, I have the wrong date. But on this day in history, having led the French army in victory over England in Orleans during the 100 Years' War, Joan of Arc was charged with heresy and witchcraft. And on this day in 1431, not 1999, she was burned at the stake. Here's your Fader fact today. This is for Jonocide. He wants a Taco Tuesday Fader fact. I don't quite have that, but I have this. In the Philippines, McDonald's serves spaghetti. The pasta comes with beef tomato sauce and a piece of McDo fried chicken. And that is your Fader fact. Hey, I need to go. I need to visit McDonald's in every country. And I meant to do it in Egypt. This year, I'm going to be all around the world starting next month. And I'm going to start visiting McDonald's and taking pictures. All right, let's get to the breaking news. As wildfires continue in Western Canada, a blaze on the opposite end of the country in Halifax, Nova Scotia, has forced the evacuation of more than 16,000 people. Video footage of downtown Halifax late Sunday showed smoke enveloping the city. The blaze broke out in an area that is about 15 miles from Halifax. Wildfires have broken out throughout Western Canada, including British Columbia, and the hardest hit has been Alberta, an oil and gas producing province, sometimes referred to as the Texas of the North. Earlier this month, that province declared a state of emergency. There you go. Smoke is heading south into the United States. We can see what's going on up there, and our thoughts are with everybody to the north. A mysterious patch of fluorescent green water that appeared in Venice's famed Grand Canal on Sunday was caused by a chemical commonly used in underwater construction to help identify leaks. The chemical, it's called fluorescein, is non-toxic. It remains unclear how the substance ended up in the canal, but the Regional Agency for the Environment in Venice said that given the volume released, it was unlikely to be an accident. The pictures are amazing. A police officer has been filmed saving a bear that got stuck inside a car at Lake Tahoe. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office arrived after a resident found the animal sitting in the back seat of a car on May 28th. A video posted by the sheriff's office shows an officer tying one end of a rope to the car door before retreating into a wooded area. The officer then pulls on the rope, opening the door from afar. The bear can be seen escaping the vehicle and running away. Footage of the car after the incident shows the parts of the ceiling and the seats were torn apart by the intruder, and it is a crazy video to watch. A private company has plans to test a revolutionary new heat shield that folds and unfolds like origami. The new heat shield, built by Cardiff, UK-based company Space Forge, is called Prydwen, named after the shield donned by King Arthur. Prydwen will be the company's first prototype that will undergo a test, including a re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere, and is progressing towards a launch later this year. ESA recently posted an update on the origami heat shield to the space agency's website, adding that Prydwen will be a part of Starforge's Forge Star 1A mission that will launch on a ride-share flight aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. There you go. If you're looking to view the massive sunspot AR3310 that has delighted sky watchers lately, you better hurry, but be careful. Normally, the catching of a sunspot on the sun requires a powerful telescope and a whole lot of special equipment and filters. But the new sunspot has grown so big that you can see it without a telescope at all. But you're still going to need some eye protection. If you want to see AR3310 for yourself, you're going to need some of those solar glasses at the very least. These are the same kinds of glasses normally used to watch a solar eclipse, and they are essential to observing the sun safely. Regular sunglasses just won't do. AR3310 is currently on the edge of the sun's visible disk, about to rotate out of view. So act fast if you want to see the sunspot. Go to Amazon, get some of those eclipse sunglasses. The total number of people in Earth orbit is kind of now at a record high. With the launch of China's 3-person Shenzhou 16 mission yesterday, the population in orbit grew to 17. The previous record set the privately funded Inspiration 4 mission in September 2021 was 14 people. The number 17 only lasted for a day or so, because a SpaceX capsule carrying a decorated former NASA astronaut and 3 paying customers departed the International Space Station at 11:05 a.m. ET earlier today. The Crew Dragon spacecraft is expected to splash down off of Florida's coast around 11:04 p.m. ET tonight. All right, so the number's down to 13. It was 17 for a day. Pretty cool. A steep rock face in western Sweden. Researchers uncovered a fascinating find, and this is incredible. They found around 40 petroglyphs underneath moss depicting ships, people, and animal figures, all dating back around 2,700 years. Check this out. The petroglyphs are carved on a granite rock face that was part of an island, meaning people would have to make the carvings while standing on a boat or from a platform constructed on ice. Now, all of this from Martin Othom, a project manager from the Foundation for Documentation of the Boeslands rock carvings, who is one of the archaeologists who discovered the petroglyphs. The petroglyphs include depictions of ships, people, and animal figures, including 4-legged creatures that may be horses. The biggest one shows a ship that is 13 feet long. That's right. The petroglyph is 13 feet wide, and it is incredible. Most of the petroglyphs are between 12 and 16 inches in length. It's a giant ship. You need to check it out. A beluga whale that turned up in Norway wearing a harness back in 2019, prompting speculation it was a spy trained by the Russian Navy, has reappeared off of Sweden's coast. First discovered in Norway's far northern region of Finnmark, the whale spent more than 3 years slowly moving down the top half of the Norwegian coastline before suddenly speeding up in recent months to cover the second half and move on to Sweden. On Sunday, he was observed in Hunnestrand off of Sweden's southwestern coast. While the whale first appeared in the Norwegian Arctic, marine biologists from the Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries removed a human-made harness from him. The harness had a mount suited for an action camera, right? And the words Equipment St. Petersburg printed on the plastic clasps. And finally, I'll leave you with this. Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah, Elizabeth Holmes reported to prison earlier today, capping off a stunning downfall for the disgraced founder of failed blood testing startup Theranos. And if you haven't seen the documentaries and the movies, go and check them out. Holmes was sentenced to more than 11 years in prison last November after she was convicted months earlier on multiple charges of defrauding investors while running the now defunct startup. Her request to remain free on bail while she fights to overturn the conviction was denied by an appellate court earlier this month. Holmes arrived at federal prison camp Bryan in southern Texas, a minimum security federal prison camp that is approximately 100 miles from Houston. Her company, Theranos, raised $945 million from an impressive list of investors and was valued at some $9 billion at its peak, making her a paper billionaire. She graced magazine covers and engaged in public speaking events wearing a black turtleneck that invited comparisons to the late Apple CEO Steve Jobs. Today, she is wearing an orange jumpsuit. And earlier this month, she was ordered to pay restitution of $452 million to the victims of her crimes. There you go. There's all the fade to black breaking news that you need for this Monday or Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. Fade to black breaking news is produced by Renee Newman. I'm Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tepe.